price. Bitcoin doesn't care, right? It doesn't care about the piece of paper. It doesn't care about Trump. It doesn't care about Biden. It doesn't care about any of that. It's repricing all of it. I can just do a simple equation, and in Bitcoin, in my house was $1.4 million 4 years ago. It's now $2.1 million in fiat pieces of paper, but relative to Bitcoin, it was 300 Bitcoin 4 years ago, and now it's 20. At today's price, 26 Bitcoin. And so, in 4 years, my house will be worth 2 Bitcoin. And so, if you want to take your Bitcoin to buy a house because you want the house now, that makes sense, but realize you're overpaying because of the financialization for the house, because the house relative to Bitcoin is falling to its utility value, like all things will in the free market. So if we've never had something decentralized and secure until Bitcoin, then we always had to trust in organizations or say the Magna Carta or the Constitution to protect us from the state becoming too big. And those pieces of paper delivered to thriving societies because they enshrined individual rights and freedoms the way the world should work. And where people were free and able to contribute, they had better ideas. They weren't stuck in systems. They had better ideas to give more value, which was the free market. And that was, and we live on top of a lot of those ideas that we don't even think about today. But what ends up happening is money is superordinate to law. So money is at a higher abstraction rate, right, to law. It's higher in level. And what you can see is those laws get changed over time to protect the money.
Jeff Booth is a visionary leader who has been at the forefront of technological change for the past 20 years. A passionate Bitcoin enthusiast, he believes that sound money like Bitcoin is essential for a truly free market, which he views as a natural outcome of deflation. In this video, Jeff links productivity growth with deflation, arguing that technological advancements will boost productivity in the free market, thereby reducing the cost of goods and services. He posits that Bitcoin addresses the problem of inflation by serving as sound money that no government can control or monopolize. Jeff's analysis highlights how fiat currency and other printed money are designed to trap people in a manipulated system, distorting the natural state of the free market, which should inherently be deflationary. Regarding AI, Jeff is confident and understands that AI will help reduce production costs, driving prices down to the marginal cost of production in the free market. As we bring you clips from this in-depth analysis, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on market trends and more insightful content. Your engagement helps our channel grow and brings you more valuable information on the future of Bitcoin and digital assets. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Right, the abusers of money. And by the way, you could just do the counterfactual on it, and you could say where money's most broken, what do the laws look like to protect people? And you can see what ends up happening. So you can see today in the US, the Constitution and rights and freedoms that were protected are being slowly whittled away with new laws to protect them and spying on citizens, and all of these things are becoming okay. And and it's a gradual creep of this control system because money is superordinate to law, because no one would, if they knew how important money was, right, into their laws, they wouldn't be focused on the laws, they would be focused on the money. Now, what ends up happening throughout time is over time, this it breaks down, it gets worse and worse and worse, and the only way to get elected within that society is to divide the society against each other. So this group of people is bad, this group of people is good. You don't hear hope, and you hear it's a better choice than the really bad people. And then once you consolidate that control and you remove more individual rights and freedoms, no matter which party you do it from, then you have to create a greater enemy outside your borders to be able to go to war, to be able to reset the system. and kind of winner of war resets system on new monetary standard and resets the debt either through high inflation or through a new monetary standard, and says, we promise we won't do it again, and then it slowly starts again. And why does it slowly start again? Because the free market has always been deflationary. Anytime somebody says the price measured in fiat dollars, I almost cringe, because it tells me they're reinforcing a world that is based on stealing money, based on essentially value not going to where it should go through the free market force, and that construct that they're living in is reinforcing and making their entire lives worse. So I see Bitcoin very different than most people do, and it attaches to virtually every kind of from there everything else. And from my book that you could simplify the entire book and essentially the natural state of the free market is deflation, and technology would make that deflation happen at a way faster rate, at an exponential rate. And that deflation shouldn't be feared, because what it actually is the productivity flowing to us so that we can live abundant lives and do what we want. So that's the natural state of the market. And that means anything that stops that, not from zero inflation, but from the implied rate of deflation, which would today be probably -5 or -6%, anything that stops that is not an economic system. It's not a political system. It's a control system that gains its strength from stealing from you. And so once you understand that that is true, and I haven't found one person to debate me on that, the natural state of a free market is deflation. So once that that is true, then as a derivative, everything else from the existing system is stealing from you. Political system, as we get locked into who's better at stealing from you, that's really what you're arguing. Who gets the benefits of this theft that comes from you in the end? And so Bitcoin stands as the only thing that I've found that I've been able to that can protect you from that. And it stands, and it's that because it's not a coin. It's a protocol bounded by energy. It's an open, decentralized, and secure protocol bounded by energy. And it doesn't care if you want to price it through currency or through pieces of paper that are being manipulated. It doesn't care. It just keeps on moving forward. So relative to Bitcoin, all prices are falling and will forever, because it's the only free market force that is in existence, and everything tethered to the other system is not. It's a control system. It doesn't touch me. I empathize for people that are living there. And once I too was once there, I thought there was a fix from the system creating the problem. But after realizing that there is no fix from the system creating the problem, I had to put my time into something that's more valuable. And I think you're doing the same thing. And people that have moved their time into creating a parallel path that's more valuable for society are finding abundance, and they're finding connection, and they're finding something that's getting better and better and better all of the time. And they're immune from that kind of nonsense. The only reason I kind of almost was triggered when you said pricing Bitcoin from that system is it reinforces that system. Yeah. You're constantly right. Really what you're saying is, I'm going to trade this for pieces of paper that then I'm going to price the world in. And so you're reinforcing that notion of doing that is giving the system more strength, because you're thinking, that notion is you're still thinking in a fiat world when it's being repriced. Bitcoin doesn't care, right? It doesn't care about the piece of paper. It doesn't care about Trump. It doesn't care about Biden. It doesn't care about any of that. It's repricing all of it.
Home prices are falling. People don't want the home values that they've invested in to fall, right? They want their home to be worth more and more, even though they're going to sell it only to buy something super old that's completely overpriced. But can you talk a little bit about that, especially for people who are like, no way, all of these assets are going to continue to inflate in value, including real estate and equities, and Bitcoin will be along for the ride?
Yeah, so they will, versus the existing system of debasement. In fact, the home itself is a part of that, because you can't store your money in the bank. because it loses value because the real rate of return is less than the inflation rate. So it's a part of the construct that other things have to create value. So now you take now you take bigger leverage against a home and that pushes up house prices because you're trying to store your wealth in a home. And that removes a home from a utility, which it was 100 years ago when families lived in their homes, neighborhoods were close, and it moves it away from that. And it's a store of value against it. And as that breaks, and the same thing that breaks it was the government intervention to actually create that problem in the first place because of manipulated money, and more people see the assets as a store of value, then big money gets involved as well to be able to store their wealth in those assets, and it doesn't become a home anymore. It becomes a store of value. And so the very thing that is that financialization of things, to be able to find other things to store your value in, is a result of money losing value. But all of those things, and I can just do a simple equation, and in Bitcoin, in my house was $1.4 million 4 years ago. It's now $2.1 million in fiat pieces of paper, but relative to Bitcoin, it was 300 Bitcoin 4 years ago, and now it's today's price 26 Bitcoin. And so in 4 years, my house will be worth 2 Bitcoin. And so if you want to take your Bitcoin to buy a house because you want the house now, that makes sense, but realize you're overpaying because of the financialization for the house, because the house relative to Bitcoin is falling to its utility value, like all things will in the free market.
Inflation, wage deflation, and why are workers not keeping up with the pace of everything getting more expensive?
In a free market, prices fall to the marginal cost of production. And that means, so the output, think through everything you do and everything, no matter if you work for somebody or if you're working for an entrepreneur, or if you're the entrepreneur. So the only way you can survive as a business is to create greater value than what was there before, right? Because buyers choose your product or service based on what was there before. And if you're creating more value, and if it's less value, buyers won't choose it. And I put a caveat: unless you create regulation to protect a monopoly. Okay? Unless it's government protected to protect the monopoly, the free market constantly has to produce more value because there's two sides of it. One, the person creating the value, and one, you as the purchaser. And you as the purchaser is a huge part of creating this value. So the output of those two things has to be prices fall, right? And when we talk about AI and where that goes, it's also free. And that's why if you download GPT-4all, number 4all onto your computer, you can have all the open source models for free, and you don't need the internet anymore to use AI. And those are getting better and better at an exponential rate, which they will because of the free market creating this. So where is the value in AI? And I'm going to get to your long roundabout way to get to your question, but where's the value in AI? Where can you protect the kind of the amount of money that's going into AI when the output is free? You can only scare people and create regulation to lock them in, that the monopolies have to protect the people from the AI. And so what you see today on the other side of this monopoly game is a whole bunch of fear around AI, when the truth is AI should allow all of the prices to fall faster so you don't have to work at all.
That's our video for today, featuring Jeff Booth, a technology and Bitcoin enthusiast. Jeff believes that the fiat system is manipulated and monopolized to keep people at a disadvantage, eroding their financial power and perpetuating poverty. In his view, Bitcoin is the revolutionary technology that can rectify this imbalance in the financial ecosystem. What are your thoughts on Jeff's assertion that AI will be the key instrument in achieving deflation? Please share your comments and observations in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.